mobility thing. For instance, how many people tonight are carrying an iPhone? How many people are carrying a BlackBerry? Good. How many people have a Nokia handset? Good. How many people have a Palm? Good. How many people have a Motorola? Good. Samsung. I'll say other. Sony Ericsson. Oh, yes. With that, I will turn it over to Hakan. I know you had a little bit of data about some of the trends that have been going on lately that people have been talking about. If you want to start there or wherever you want to start.
Okay, thank you. And start by welcoming you to Ericsson here in Silicon Valley. You must have noticed what is happening with mobile broadband, especially with the iPhone. And one reason why we are here is because of what's happening. Say for quite some time, watched North America from Europe that really doesn't get it. What's happening in Europe and Asia, but not so much here. But now at least with the iPhone and with Google, Android, and all that, there's lots of things happening here, lots of applications. So that's why it's very much focus here. Even Nokia is now having the head of technology basically here, instead of where I used to go to Helsinki to discuss how things were moving. I started working with mobile broadband and 3G in 1991. I've had about many years have been given the question, what is the killer application for 3G? And I've always said it's speed and coverage. And now finally we're getting there. It's speed and coverage, mobile broadband available basically everywhere. And still though, 2007, that is like 16 years after I started, it was still very little data in the network. 3 years later, last year in the autumn, data passed voice in the mobile networks. So it has taken data about 18 months to do what voice took 20 years to do in building out in traffic volumes. And now we launched the data measured for the second quarter this year, and it basically has tripled last year the data in the networks, average over the world, including even countries that even deployed 3G. And we expect this to double now every year for the coming 5 years. And then why stop at 2015? I think it's very likely it will continue to double for another 5 years after at least 2020. So what does it mean when you double something 10 times? From 10 to 2020? Well, if you do the math, it's 2 raised to 10 is 1024. So it's 1,000 times more. So if you have just data just passed voice, in 2015 it will be 30 times more data than voice, and in 2020 it will be 1,000 times more data than voice. The average voice user consumes 20 megabytes per month with the 300 minutes he or she talks. Then you will be then up to 20 gigabytes. Is that unreasonable? No, that's not really unreasonable. 20 gigabytes per month, 2020. So we will have to handle a factor of 1,000 in data growth in the mobile network in the coming 10 years. And I discussed about it before, so I will go through why that is possible. It is clearly possible to do that without exploding any CapEx budget. It will be possible. But it will also mean a big change. Change that is bigger than we understand, I think. Even if we try to understand, we don't still don't understand. Operators are still charging you per minute and giving away this data flat fee. That doesn't make sense when the data is 1,000 times larger than the voice. Why count the minutes and give away that for free? That will not happen. It will be some kind of volume-based tariffing. It will not be volume-based a la GP&E with exponential. It will be more maybe logarithmic. But it will be some kind of, and people say, I don't know what a gigabyte is. Well, most people don't know what a kilowatt hour is either. But they still pay a kilowatt hour. Or a BTU on the gas bill. What is a BTU? But that's where you still pay. So I think we will get there somehow. And maybe that is the introduction. Data is going to overtake voice big time. Everything, of course, voice, 2020, voice will be part of the voice over IP. So it will be the data pile already. But that is what we are having ahead of us, and that's more exciting than the mobile voice revolution that we've had in 20. So if you look at the Ericsson perspective, again, just to summarize, we started in 1876. We spent 100 years connecting 1 billion households and offices. So 100 years for 1 billion. Then we have spent 20 years connecting 5 billion people. That's, by the way, Nokia tagline, connecting people. But then Nokia has to move on, because now in the next 10 years, we're going to connect things, 50 billion connected devices. And so we will soon see Nokia change the tagline. Connecting people is sort of a little bit
Everything.
2000. It's a little bit millennial too.
That was a great foundation, Hakan.